In this video, we're going to break down go and rights and lefts on the flat. You want to begin these sessions working on the dog looking straight ahead. Wait for them to look forward, toss the cookie, and you can tell them to find it or give them a go cue. We want the dog looking straight ahead so they're not anticipating what direction to turn. What I try to do is wait for the dog to look ahead.
Go, go.
I say go and throw the cookie at the same time. So the cookie is not really a lure.
Go, go.
Once we have the dog looking reliably straight, we need to think about the 3 different ways we can train this behavior. I like to use 3 different techniques. One of them is luring, one of them is the hip tap, and the other one is using a target stick. And I make those decisions based on the individual dog I'm working with. The first one we're going to look at is luring. In this exercise, we're going to look at soft right and left turns.
Right. Good.
What I do is I start with the dog directly in front of me, and I can lure the dog with a cookie and reward the dog when their head reaches about a 90-degree angled turn. I'm always very careful if the dog is sitting that I'm not stepping on their tail.
Good.
What I want to do is get the behavior as strong as I can before I start putting a word in.
Yes. Good. Leg.
Once I have a reliable behavior with the dog following the cookie, I can start to add my word in as the dog's head is turning away from me. Once the dog is reliably doing that, I will start putting the word before the behavior.
Go.
I always make sure that I finish that exercise or intermittently put in some straight aheads. Sitting in a chair makes it easy to do these exercises in your living room, and it's much easier on your back, especially if you have a smaller dog. So the next technique we're going to look at is the hip tap. With the hip tap, what I'm looking to do is, again, start with the dog looking straight ahead. Once I do a couple of exercises with the dog looking straight ahead, then I will take my right hand, tap the dog on her side until she looks to the right. Then I will throw the cookie and reward the dog on that side. So the tap on the hip just makes the dog turn their head in that direction, and then I can reward the behavior. When I start doing this behavior and the dog is reliably following that tap to that side, I'll pair the word with the action of the head turning, and then get to a place where I can say the word, then tap, and I know the dog is going to look to that side and get rewarded for responding to that verbal cue.
Lay.
You got to roll with the punches because sometimes it doesn't go exactly as you planned. You can see here that she's really anticipating the side, and so I'm going to do a bit more rewarding with her straight ahead. I do this with dogs that don't have a lot of body sensitivity issues. If I have a dog that's very sensitive to the touch, then I will try one of the other techniques. And always ending the exercise doing a few straight ahead.
Go. Good girl.
This is also how I start to pair the word go with moving straight ahead.
Lay. Good girl. Go. Find it. Good girl.
The next technique we're going to look at is the target stick.
Yes.
So the first thing you have to do is have a dog that will put a nose touch onto a target stick. You can use a spoon, a spatula, a wooden dowel, anything that you can hold in your hand. And this is
Yes.
also a great way to work on these
Yes.
skills with a smaller
Good.
dog.
Yes.
So I work
Yes.
with the dog facing me. I also want to work with the dog sitting at my side facing forward. And once the dog is following the target stick, I'll start to use the target stick to turn the dog's head away from me.
Good.
I want to make sure the dog's reliably touching the target stick with their nose before I start to put my verbal cue in. If I'm doing this exercise with my verbal cues, I want to make sure that I am using my soft turn cues if I'm only turning the head 90 degrees. But if I'm turning the dog completely into the other direction, I can start pairing with my hard right and hard left turns, which for me are right and left.
Yes. Good. Yes. Good. Yes.
So she's turning completely around. I'm going to put in my right verbal cue.
Right. Good.
You want to make sure when you start to be able to bring these verbals to a standing position with the dog on your side, that you turn them both to the left and the right from either side.
Right.
And I'm using my right and left because I'm turning the dog in a complete circle. So they're doing more than 180 degrees. She's on my left, and I turn her to the left. Then I'll give her a little more room and turn her to the right.
Right.
You want to make sure your dog can do this from both sides.
Right.
And I'm using a combination of luring and the verbal in this exercise with Jing.
Right. Good. Left. 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 Nice.
Have fun with it, guys.